sure about that?
QFusion. Let's get it in.
Welcome back to another video. Oh my god, it feels so grand to be here with you guys today. All right, now welcome guys to another video with your boy QFusion. I wanted to do a quick take on all the craziness that's going on with Kyrie Irving. Now, if you guys didn't know, I'm a huge avid basketball fan. And with this current season, I mean, there's been a whole host of storylines, and you know, the new almost called the New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets have been on the forefront with your boy Kyrie Irving being the main protagonist. Right, he has said a lot of things that have ruffled a lot of feathers. It looks like, most notably, as of late, he has posted posted on his story a photo of a book, I believe, which talks about which is titled Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. And so a lot of pundits have been having their roundabout discussions about what's going on with this guy, what should the Nets do. And I happened upon, because if you guys don't know, I mean, I peruse YouTube a lot, and one of the things about YouTube is it's kind of crazy how you could just see a video and you're like, damn, you know what, let me get online and let me fucking talk about it. So I want to watch it alongside you guys. I started a couple minutes in. The hosts at NBA on TNT with Shaq, Rue, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley and Ernie were speaking on the matter, and I kind of didn't like the way the conversation was going, so I wanted to get you guys some, I wanted to have this combo with my guys and or girls, whoever chooses to tune in. So without further ado, let's see how this all panned out.
I'm in a unique position to have a level of influence on my community. And what I post does not mean that I support everything that's being said or everything that's being done, or I'm campaigning for anything. All I do is.
And also to give my quick take on Kyrie Irving as an individual, I don't know him personally. I met him once years ago, in passing. It literally was like a blur, and I didn't get much out of him. When in that conversation was a handshake, and this was going on like 10 plus years ago, and so since then, I mean, he's obviously grown into something before our eyes, and I'll be the first one to tell you that when it comes to guys like Kyrie, it just seems as though they have this like incessant need to seem more deeper than they are, and so a lot of the times they'll go into this like round robin of thoughts where you end up finding yourself confused as fuck as to why in the hell are they thinking that they're they should be the sort of the quote unquote expert on the things that are coming out of their mouth, right? So this is one of my big problems with Kyrie. This on the other hand, though, when I look at an individual's comments, what I like to do is I like to take a step outside of what I personally think about that person, and I like to just take a look at the stab at is what are we talking about here? Like, what is the situation, and what is really bothering people, right? So let me continue.
Was post things for my people in my community and those that it's actually going to impact. Anybody else that has criticism and obviously wasn't meant for them. I am no different than the next human being, so don't treat me any different. You guys come in here and make up this powerful influence I have over top of the adultery of you cannot post that.
See, with the adultery, that doesn't. See, again, this is where we're just talking just to talk. And also too, I wrestled with this, right? Because I do understand his plight. with this, because at the end of the day, he is a human being, and he wants to, like all of us, wants to just post. If I see something that, it may not be something I agree with, but it's like, this might be thought provoking. I might, think about putting it on my thing. But I also don't have 17 million Instagram followers, and who a lot of them could be impressionable young men or women. Right. So I don't have that responsibility. So I can't sit here and be naive and act as though, I have that burden. Right. So I can understand where he comes from as far as wanting to, I guess that naivete of saying, I want to just be a normal guy, treat me like a normal human being. But like, let's be real, most human beings on the planet Earth don't have 17 million followers. Right. So in an impressionable society that we live in, you have to be very careful about some of the things that you say or do. But in his defense, when we are just posting something, right, we're posting something, we're not saying liking it, we're not doing this. We have to be careful about just jumping in. And I think the good thing about this interview where they sat down with him, even though I know he's a little perturbed at the moment in his demeanor, it is good to now just say, hey, why did you post that? Ask that question. And I think a lot of the times we just are so quick in this cancel culture to say, no, he's got to go. This is anti-Semitic, without even reading the book, without even knowing what the book, talks about. I can even admit I haven't read the book. So the last thing I'm going to do is say this is an anti-Semitic book when it's talking about Hebrew, when literally in the title, it says Hebrews to Negroes. So what that says to all that, like off my mind, I'm automatically thinking it's just talking about how a group of people have gone from being part of a more so distinguished part of society to now being denigrated to a lower part of society. And so I don't see how that's anti-Semitic, because if I'm looking at the definition of anti-Semitic, it's hostility toward or discrimination against Jews as a religious, ethnic, or racial group, as per Webster's dictionary. And so I don't see how that right off the bat, because I know a lot of people ain't going to read the book. So for you to just automatically call it anti-Semitic, it just seems a little bit of a stretch. But let's continue on.
Why not?
Why did you decide to promote something that Alex Jones said?
That was a few weeks ago. I do not stand with Alex Jones' position, narrative, court case that he had with Sandy Hook, or any of the kids that felt like they had to relive trauma, or parents that had to relive trauma, or to be dismissive to all the lives that were lost during that tragic event. My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with.
See, this is where I'm gonna give some, and again, this is him speaking on pulpit. It's not like he had time to prepare for him to, for the questions. He just are just getting a shot of questions at the moment. It's when you're going further, you have to be careful. I mean, we have to know the audience, right? I just, one thing, if you're not annoyed that people are doing this, right, that they're asking you these types of questions, but I can tell that he's a little miffed, and rightfully so, because at the end of the day, it's like, damn, like I agree with something he talked about 30 years ago. That doesn't mean that I agree with Alex Jones full stop on everything that he is and comes to be. But you have to be okay with the question, at least, to say, damn, okay, well, if you agree with this, what else are you co-signing, right? As with the guy that's known to be a very controversial, conspiracy theorist. So you have to allow for yourself, and this is where you're asking for deep thought, right? You're asking people to think critically and all this other stuff. Well, a lot of people aren't on the same wavelength. They might not have been doing the research on the secret societies that you're talking about with regards to Alex Jones, or some of these other things, where have you, that I've seen you speak on. So enlighten, right? And if you don't feel like you have the you don't feel the need to enlighten people, well, then I would really advise that you hold off on posting anything that you're not going to give, further clarification to or enlightenment on. Okay, because this is what's going to happen. This is going to keep happening, buddy. Like, so you can get pissed off if you want to, but the media is the media. They're a conglomerate that is going to exist after you retire, All right, they've been there before you got there. They're gonna keep doing what they do. So unless you're ready for, and I would think after 13 years of, 12, maybe 11 years of doing this circus, you would have the foresight to know like this is what comes along with the posting ambiguous ass things that you're posting.
With anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones or anything. I'm just there to post, and it's funny, and it's actually hilarious because out of all the things I posted that day, that was the one post that everyone chose to see. It just goes back to the way our world is and works. I'm not here to complain about it. I just exist.
And
What the? And there goes there goes the end block, man. What the fuck what are we talking about? I just exist. Maybe I'm not on your wavelength, man. Because no, man. There's not everybody is thinking the way that you're thinking. So you as an all-knowing human being, right? Who is very thoughtful, must cover your bases, right? We're seeing it with Kanye. Whether it was willingly or whether there was intent behind what he says, what Kanye was saying or not, there are consequences, right? There's consequences behind the things that come out of your mouth. Even with the things I'm saying right now, there are going to be people that are going to can either take it as me signing off on Kyrie or denigrating Kyrie. There's going to be, and I have to be prepared, right? If I choose to be able to handle those questions that are going to come along with the comments that I'm making online, right? This is part of, part of the game, right? If you want to be a notable figure, it's one thing if you just want to be, on the wayside, like, and just be an average Joe. Okay, cool. But if you're going to be somebody that wants to, be essentially, create a beacon of truth for the masses, right, and allow for everybody to find out that innate truth that is being hidden and being closed off from the masses, well, yeah, this is what comes along with that territory. You have to be able to answer the buck, and you just popping like acting like a, huffing and puffing, I just exist, dude. You're already behind the ball, bro. And I can't sit here and act as though I know what it's like to be in your shoes, because I absolutely don't, right? But I also can say that, like, damn, man, it's very clear, like, you're not hiding or sugarcoating how you feel in this moment, and right now they're taking it and running with it.
to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book,
man.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it. Do you see me doing? Do you see me
By
in front of
putting it
the,
out there,
the
people
title?
are going to say that you are
Yeah, I
promoting.
put it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not
You put
stuff,
things out there for a living, right?
right? But my stuff
Great.
is
So
not
let's move on.
filled
Let's
with
move on.
anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing.
Yeah, but do we know that book is filled with again, words matter, guys. Like, we can't be sitting in this world where just because something goes against the grain of conventional thinking that we automatically assume, right, that it's anti-Semitic. Again, the definition of anti-Semitic: hostility toward or discrimination against Jews as a religious, ethnic, or racial group. I don't understand. If anything, I think it's irresponsible as fuck for a reporter to continually, or the reporters up there to continually keep, without reading the book, right? Just like it would be irresponsible of me to sit here and say that there isn't anything anti-Semitic, but unless this reporter has read the book in and out and is following the true definition of anti-Semitism, for him to just be like, oh, well, there's just some anti-Semitic stuff in there. Like, come on now. Like, this dude's got brand deals. Like, I don't, if the thing was literally saying, like, you need to hate all the Jews, if it was outright doing it, I don't know if with a guy with all of the different brand deals and things of that nature that are going on, because while he tries to come off as a revolutionary, I don't think he's necessarily a true, a true martyr, right? So let's be careful. Like, we need to take a step back with some of these different aspersions that we're trying to cast on somebody without even getting all the facts together. This is where the craziness of the media, starts to really bother me.
I'm another human being. I can post whatever I want. So say that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that
I don't have to understand anything from you.
It's not me.
Nothing.
By
It's no people that you're making up, bro. Move on.
But by posting
Move
what
on.
you
Next
did,
question.
anybody
Do you guys have any more questions?
and they're gonna say,
you guys have any more
Yes,
questions?
you have
Because this is going to be a
anti-Semitic
clip.
beliefs.
This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
but you're not answering.
Night after the game, and look, if he keeps making a big thing out of the word promotion, that is promotion. If on your social media you say, boom, here's a link to this, that tells me, hey, you should watch this. Correct? He's got 17 million Instagram followers, another 5 million or so on Twitter. You're all over social media. Do you ever put something out there, Shaq, that does not represent something that you feel?
I was probably one of the first guys on Twitter. And when I realized the power it had, I knew I had to be very responsible. Followers, platform, whatever you call it, I knew I had to be responsible. I try to make people happy. I try to make people smile. My formula has always been the same: 60% to make.
All right, so this is all right. I love you, Shaq, but like this is where then you need to disqualify yourself from this conversation, right? Like I just try to make people happy. Okay, so you're that means that you don't like to rock the boat, right? When it comes to your, I guess, your affiliations, the things that you want to speak on, that's perfectly fine. But don't what you can't do is, because I already can see where this is going. It's going to start winding down the road of like, well, you should have known. What's wrong with you, young man? Like, this is not the way to go about things. You just can't be talking recklessly and saying stupid shit. But yet you've never once in your life taken a hard stance on anything in your life, right? When it comes to any sort of things that could be sort of seen as controversial, because let's be real, you're the class clown. You've always been the class clown. You like putting smiles on people's faces. That's amazing. That's an amazing ordeal, and that's brought you tons of success along the way. But at the same token, then that means that you need to excuse yourself from the tough conversations. Then I know they're putting you on the gambit right now, but just like you sat on your thing talking about, well, I don't want to, I can't talk about a guy who cheated because I don't, because I was cheating all over the place, well, okay. Well, then if you're not the type of guy that likes to step on people's toes, you want to keep people happy and all that other stuff, awesome. Well, then stay away from the conversations that cause people who may be very short-sighted, to be extremely upset, because those are the tough combos. And you, my dear brother, you obviously don't like to have those tough ones.
Make you laugh, 30% to inspire you, and 10% whatever I'm selling. You have to be aware of what you're doing. And you have to be aware that sometimes when you put stuff out, not everybody's gonna like it. Some people are conscious, some people are not. I can tell he's not conscious, he doesn't really care what's going on. But us, I know that the game that we used to love and we promote, it brings people together. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done.
No, it's a simple question, and you've completely overcomplicated it by making it about yourself. I mean, it just oh God damn, Shaq. This is starting off pretty crazy right now. I'm not even man. Usually these guys are relatively, I agree with a lot of the things that they say, but on so far, it's not a good start.
I stand for equality of all people.
Oh,
I've always been like that. Don't matter what religion, don't matter where you're from. I can say shalom, salam alaikum, ni hao, say bon, because that's how I was raised. So I don't really want to sit up here and answer questions for what he's done. If you're looking at me, it's my job to make people happy. I can't speak for him and, answer for what he's doing. It's obviously by his answers and the way he answers, he doesn't really care.
Chuck.
Click, spin, go for the win in new Connect 4 Spin.
Adult assembly required.
You get this goddamn thing on. And it's done.
I think the NBA dropped the ball.
In what way?
he doesn't really, he's not conscious. He doesn't really care. Again, assumptions that we're so very quick to make. He doesn't care about what that you, again, just saying irresponsible things, casting aspersions right on people without even listening to the things that he said in that little sit down, in that little brief interview with those reporters. He broke down quite easily. I mean, for a guy that is very long-winded, he's simply made sure his stances were clear on how he feels, and yet these already we're seeing the shaming and the shaming language and all of the other buzzwords that people are using to already shut people out from being able to say what they want to say.
I think he should have been suspended. I think Adam should have suspended him. First of all, Adam's Jewish. You can't take my $40 million and insult my religion. You got to insult.
Yes, he can. And also, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing right now? Like, yes, he can take his even if he was, which he wasn't, because he already cleared that up in that sit down, in that press conference. But yes, he can insult without even. What are we even doing here? Like, where did he? Again, I'm looking for where in. Somebody, please point to me if for those that watch this, please point to me where there's an indication that Jews need to be blasted off the face of the earth. That there needs to be a sort of a what's the thing called? Sort of the way that Hitler took his approach with Jewish people through way of the Holocaust. Please tell me where in that book, right? Because this is where all this the conversation is stemming from. Where did he even where does it make the notion that Jewish people are a people that need to be eradicated, right? Or that there's an insult to that religion? If anything, again, Hebrews to Negroes. This is given that Israelite vibe, and if there's anything, it's a lost group, right? So and the only thing that Israelites have only given me is that they've been trying, like from what I know, for the people that I know that are affiliated, it's that they're trying to make sure people understand that no, we are not separate. We are all part of this, and in fact, we are sort of the epicenter of this. Right. And you need to give us our just desserts. Right. I can be wrong. But at the same token, there's nothing about their message from what we're talking about from context of this book. Right. It's just simply trying to bring highlights to the fact that group needs their just due, as opposed to being pushed into. I'm going based off the title of the book, pushed into because we all know what the Negroes from the past has been utilized as a term of indignation to basically make sure that people stayed lower class where they quote unquote belonged, right? So I'm trying to, guys, where this anti-Semitic shit that we're pushing, it's like, damn, guys, words have power, and if we're not going to use the definitions the way that they were created, I suggest you guys stop using them.
Insult me, you have the right, but I have the right to say no. You're not going to take my $40 million and insult my religion. I think the NBA.
So it's supposed to be some personal vendetta now, right? As opposed to commissioners looking out for the best interest of the owners, which is why they appoint the commissioner to ensure that the integrity of the game and the organization are held true and fast by those that run it. Not to make it I didn't think it was supposed to be something where they're supposed to look at the words of a player and simply say and take it upon themselves to say, well, hey, no, outside of this, I am a Jewish guy, so because I thought this was a business. But hey, I stand to be corrected.
They made a mistake. We have suspended people and fined people who have made homophobic slurs, and that was the right thing to do. I think if you insult the black community, you should be suspended or fined heavily, depending. I saw they did the same thing to the kid in Minnesota this year when he made the gay slur.
All right.
I think you should get suspended or
Coach
fined.
Taylor, let's see what
Forward
can
at
be
this, so
done.
we
It's
don't
too
go
late
through
now.
this again. No, it's not too late to say,
Ernie,
how do we prevent
Ernie,
this? It's not too late to do that. But I see what you're
hold
saying.
on, I want to say that the reason.
Yeah, Ernie, I don't know if you're Jewish, but from the way that Ernie's starting off this, it's giving triggered. I don't even know what you're even really triggered about. Because at the end of the day, Kyrie stopped his notion that he is not quote unquote anti-Semitic. So I don't know if you are Jewish. I don't know where all of this unks, right? All of this fervor is coming from, right? There's a lot of energy that you're bringing to the table, my boy, and I don't even know if it's requited or if it's needed. I don't know if requited is even the right word, right? So let's
too late.
careful.
The NBA
Take
is
some of that
giving
bass
in
out
to
your
peer
voice,
pressure.
boy. Sir,
If one of
let's
our
not
players do
disrespect.
something, they have the right, the team or the league has to do something immediately. If you just give in to peer pressure, that's the problem I have. This should have been handled all.
That's a fair point. I do agree with that. If you are going to punishment, if you are going to pass down a punishment on something, I definitely think you should have cleared your stance early on from the onset to make sure that people understood that, hey, look, like, this is not going to be tolerated. This is not something that we condone. But you have to do it. You have to set the bar. I think so many times a lot of these corporations, Adidas, Balenciaga, all these different, corporations, what they do is they just wait. They wait for public dissension and wait for, the people to sort of sway how they should go about handling situations. And to me, that's very pussy-like, right? So if you truly think a statement is made, the shit was posted, yeah, you guys are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you should have been able to see it, get notified, and then say, hey, look, does this go against our guidelines? Does this go against our bylaws as far as player conduct? All right, well, here we go. Are we able to suspend because of this, right? Is it within the bounds? If so, then boom, do so. But to wait, and they're waiting and waiting while it just keeps getting drummed up. People are sitting in seats talking about doing all this passive aggressive bullshit, right? But they would never talk to Kyrie in his face. It's unless if it wasn't for clicks and bait. Like I don't. Now it's lost its muster
already.
Kenny, let's get into this. Go ahead.
Well, firstly, if we're going to take what he says on a Twitter, we have to take everything he says. So if I'm going to take everything he says, I'm going to believe that he doesn't support or any of the views or promote the views of it. He said it right in my face. I have to accept that. So I will believe that. There are people in this world who's done, in their art, have done great things, that have said crazy things, that we still listen to their music, we buy their paintings, we do their things, and you might take an excerpt of that and say, I believe in this. Okay.
Oh man, you know what? Sometimes I'd be wondering what the fuck do they have Kenny on there for? But you know what? I'm gonna give my just due to Kenny. No, that's not it. All right, because he just dropped some nice, some beautiful truth bombs in there. Look, guys, when and I think this is where I'll end this, because I think at this point, it's only gonna be a round robin from here. But like Kenny is saying, like, two things can be true, right? It can be true that he simply wanted to post it, right? Because it was something that he saw and that he was maybe sent to. Somebody, a fan, probably was saying, hey, look, man, if you're going down this path for your own journey of enlightenment, maybe you need to take a look at this book. And where have you? He sees that this is a book, you know what I mean? And some people are like that, where they'll just be like, I was turned on to this book today, right? It's not like I don't know. Again, I have to see the post myself, but I presume he wasn't like, click here for the Amazon link so that way you can get your copy today, like in the story. I mean, if he's just simply posting the book, right? From there, the guy has been known to just do things on a whim to make people, quote unquote, think. So if that's the case, then maybe the point was to start conversation around it. And if that's the case, then yeah, maybe somebody who is a knowledgeable expert on the history of Judaism, like they did with Nick Cannon when he made his comments, come to the forefront and enlighten the brother, right? Instead of always finding, starting to try to find ways to shame him. Oh, he's an idiot. Oh, he's an idiot. We let this idiot. You're like, Shaq, come on, man. Like I'm not gonna take basis off a guy who in his opening remark literally just says, well, I don't really know because I go around, I just want to make people happy, like 60% happy, making people laugh or something like that, or smile, 30% inspiration, 10%. Like already I'm that just what that says to me is that you're not one for invoking thought within your conversations. You like to keep it light. You'd like to. So when two guys like Charles Barkley and Shaq, who are definitely not pundits that you're going to be going to for intellectual conversations on, on socio political issues, like, come on, like we need to be careful about just throwing it, because you might be able to learn something from what he's talking about. But because you guys are already looking to shame him without even getting to know what he's even talking, it's like you didn't even listen to what he said while in that press conference. You saw that he was getting triggered, you saw that he was getting upset and tight, and you just were like, oh, well, fuck it. Like, yeah, he's just a child. He's a child just doing childish things. Ernie's over there. I think I heard him at one point talking about where do we get to where people just don't understand, where does this civility, man, over words, guys. Oh my god, the West, bro. The West, man. The West is doomed. The West is doomed, man. We've gotten to a point where, and it's not even just people like Ernie, people like Shaq, like it. God, it's all walks of life. We've gotten to the point where words have now gotten. Yes, I know words have power, but the fact that we are allowing words to get to the point where we're costing people livelihood, taking money out of people's mouths, just simply because of the fact that they want to take it upon themselves to just not even. I don't even think he used words. So it's mind-boggling to me that we're at this point in our society, where now the words that you speak can have such catastrophic consequences on your everyday life, right? You can get your life taken from you over words, right? So, I know the saying is words have power, but goddamn, like, shit, I feel like the power is only what you give to it, though. I don't know. So, guys, that's my video. I just wanted to give my quick take on all this craziness going on with Kyrie. I'm definitely going to be filming a lot more, guys. Just I know I've been slacking, but I wanted to definitely get this out because I know this is something that has been pressing a lot of people, and it's something that, when it comes to free speech, I'm definitely a proponent of it. I don't care what it is, right? I think you should be allowed to speak your mind as you see fit. Do I also believe in that same breath, right? Because two things can be true. Do I believe that you should also be prepared for those consequences? Absolutely, right? I think you should prepare for people not to like you, not to like what you say, but for people to just be like, jumping down the round robin to let's get you literally washed off of every platform, right? That is where I'm like, come on, man. Like, that's not sending a good message, man, because that is the direct opposite of free speech, right? I have the right to challenge you. I have the right to ask you why the heck you would say that, but you also have the right to say it. And I think we're losing out on that important part of free speech. So yeah, guys, if you want to see more of me do more videos like this, where I give my commentary on some of the things that are sort of controversial going on in different atmospheres, whether it be sports, politics, dating, where have you, just keep following me at QFusion. And also I have my Instagram, if you guys want to take a look at that, where, I just live my daily life. And you'll see me on there at QFusion. It's not K. It's not K Pasa. It is QFusion. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. See you next time.
Are you sure about that?
QFusion.